Alright, no FIFA today. The Euros are about to start. None of you give a shit about Copa America, so we have to just settle in for the Europeans, the ones that mastered the ability of slavery and taking everything we ever owned. So now we're going through every group. We're predicting the future of every single nation coming up to this tournament. We're gonna go side by side for each nation, declare our winner, declare our dark horses and shit. I'll have my version, I have John's version, edit it out group by group, and whoever gets the least predictions right will recreate the Ice Bucket Challenge. Something that has been dead for 10 years. This should be a fucking fourth. It's recreating memes that have been forever dead. Pronounced dead for the good reason. Group A. Fourth, I pick Hungary. Don't get me wrong, Hungary have an amazing record in recent tournaments. They qualified for Euro 2016, and they topped the group with the holders Portugal and dark horses Iceland inside. Then they get to Euro 2021, get drafted into the group of death, with Portugal again, Germany and France. Drew twice, never got embarrassed, and was seconds away from knocking out Germany. It's not going to be the same this time though. They're going to burn out. It doesn't matter that Dominic Solersby is there. It's their only ray of sunshine. They're going to play like shit. There'll be the punching bag for Germany and Scotland, and we'll at least get a draw with Switzerland, getting 1 point and getting knocked the fuck out. In third, Switzerland. Switzerland also have a good habit of being not really highly rated, but at the same time being good international tournaments. World Cup 2014, World Cup 2018, Euro 2016. They usually have highlights of those tournaments to carry out for the rest of their lives. It won't be much of the same here. They're gonna be bang average. Honestly, just bang average. Goalkeeper is a UCL finalist. Literally a guy that played in the Champions League final. Their captain just lifted the Bundesliga invincibly with Bayer Leverkusen. But then I look at their attack at Berlin-Bolo and Seferovic. Where the fuck are the goals coming from this team? They can't transcend Xherdan Shaqiri to go back to peak Xherdan Shaqiri, scoring bicycle kicks in Euro championships. He's not gonna do that shit. He's the fucking Chicago Fire. He's been eating fucking 3 cheeseburgers every day. They're gonna at least get, I don't know, 3 points on the board at max, and they won't qualify. And I can guarantee on that, they won't qualify. They will finish third, but they won't be good enough to qualify. Second, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Scotland. I'm tipping Scotland to qualify. Don't get your hopes up, it's still the same squad as Euro 2020. Even the manager is pretty much similar. Don't get it twisted, you get out of this group, at least that's that. There'll be a reason for you to smile in Aberdeen and Glasgow whilst all the fucking knife crime still happens in the street. You get a win against Hungary, you draw with the Swiss, lose to Germany, then get to around a 16 matchup and get knocked out. Straight knocked out. You won't have an impact outside of the group stages, let me just tell you that. First, Germany. A much better manager than a long time that they had. He is world class. For international football, he's world-class, Julian Nagelsmann. With a squad that, after 2 World Cup failures and Euro 2021 meltdown against England, they have a point to prove. On home soil. Flair with Musiala, vision with Wits, defensive solidity with Rudiger. And if Kai Havertz plays on the form that he's been playing with Arsenal, Germany are not just going to top the group. Germany are going to win the Euros. And by the way, I already talked to my dad, and my dad just said I should have been aborted and should have departed home long ago, but please win the Euros, Germany.
Hi. So, 4th place in Group A. Scotland. I like Scotland. I studied there. Very nice place. But their national team is not great. Apart from Robertson and Scott McTominay, they don't have much chances in the Euros. So I'm tipping them to go 4th on probably just a draw. Second. What's second? In third, Hungary from my boy Szoboszlai. His looks will stun the opponents and they will go through to the round of 16 where they will be eliminated, unfortunately. But still a good campaign. Second, Switzerland. They are a kind of a dark horse in this in this tournament, since we've seen them eliminating France not so long ago in the Euros, I believe, as well. So I do fancy their chances in this competition, and they will go through second in this group. And at last, for first in the group, no questions about it, it is Germany. Quality team, quality coach, the recipe for success.
Group B, group of death. 4th, Albania. I wish I could give them praise for just making to the European Championships final. To get to playing to Germany with the squad they have and a manager that has failed with Corinthians. Failing at Corinthians does not give you eligibility to go manage a country to an international tournament. Arguably the most important international tournament bar the World Cup. It's a squad getting dragged to the group of death. None of the players are on form. Even the goalkeeper just slumped to 16th with Brentford. Some of the players don't even start for their own teams. Silvinho is a good enough motivator, and I wouldn't be shocked if they get at least a draw with Croatia, but you won't be getting out of this group. You won't. Third, Spain. Yep. You expected Croatia to be here, didn't you? Don't get me wrong, this is a much improved squad from the World Cup that suffered capitulation with Morocco, even though you're still ringing the phone to Jose Perez. Pedro will still pull up the strings, runs from Grimaldo that had an amazing season, Carvajal, who just had the best moment of his fucking life, will help Spain to produce good performances. At the very least, they'll win against Albania, maybe get a draw with Croatia but then lose to Italy, but at least get to the magical 4 points to qualify through third place. But it'll be fucking close though. Second, Croatia. This Croatia team is not done yet with surprising us with madness. They already proved in every single competition they've been since the World Cup in 2018. They can handle themselves under pressure. Overall, it's an old but experienced team with a fucking £100 million valuated centre back in Gvardiol. Modric won't be the star of the fucking show because he's about to be 39. It'll be a bit below par, but it won't be horrendous. But thanks to the defense and low-scoring wins like 1-0 wins over Spain or wins over Albania, they'll qualify second in the group. But listen to this. They will go through the round of 16, and I'm telling you, they will be a big team in the quarterfinals on penalties, like they did to my country in 2022. Topping Group B, Italy. The Euros holders. And now with a new manager that I personally believe at this point in time is better than Mancini. Spalletti just guided Napoli to 90 points winning Serie A. And for international management, that is one big of an achievement for you to get him on such early stages that he didn't even stay there for the defense of the title and led Napoli to finish 10th. They still hold well at the back, but they do lack a world-class goal scorer. True, Immobile is not there anymore, and all that's left is El Shaarawy. Through solid displays, they will top the group on 7 points, advance to the quarterfinals, but then saying goodbye because they won't be able to find the net.
Group B, last is Albania. Not much to say here. The other 3 teams of this group are 10 times better than Albania. They are getting eliminated in 4th with absolutely no wins. Now, for 3rd place, Croatia. We know that Croatia do very well in international tournaments, and they will go through in this group, but it will not be easy because Spain and Italy are decent teams. So they will go to the next stage, but in 3rd. They will go to the quarterfinals though, beating a nation like Belgium. 2nd, it's Italy. Their nation might not be as good as the one that won the last Euros, but they for sure have a decent team and now a very good coach, which means that they will go through to the next stage, but unfortunately not in 1st, because 1st, which is Spain, has a decent squad and have a great chance of going far in this tournament. Quero falar championship muito, eu não sei por.
On to Group C, 4th, Denmark. Forget the summer where Denmark were shocking everyone by beating teams 4-0 and almost getting that shock in Wembley by almost beating England with a Mikael Damsgaard amazing free kick. This dark horse is dead. They do have a better striker than fucking Poulsen last time round, of Rasmus Højlund, and he's actually confident on goal scoring. They won't be hopeless in the tournament, they won't be shit, but they won't be good. It will be ugly. They won't register a win, they will just get maximum 2 points. It's roughly the same squad of 2021, but they don't seem hopeful to do it again. Imagine just having to crawl back and do it again, especially after that living fucking nightmare on the group stages in Qatar. 3rd, Serbia. Their strikers are lethal. Alexander Mitrovic has just scored 40 goals in Saudi Arabia. A 40-goal season. Mitrovic! And he might not even start because there's still Dusan Vlahovic at Juventus. This is a squad able to grind results when least expected from them. I mean, they'll have good enough performances to get out of the group, and I believe they're going to make it to the quarterfinals, knocking out a big team in the round of 16. Do you know who's second? Slovenia.
Why the fuck Slovenia?
They are the ultimate dark horses for this European Championships. Jan Oblak in goal and Benjamin Sesko getting linked with fucking Arsenal and Liverpool. They're gonna be inspired. Trust me, they're gonna be absolutely inspiring this tournament. But now remember the name. Gnezda Cherin from Panathinaikos in Greece. Remember that name. Average everywhere you look, being a midfielder in fucking Greece. But this summer, this man is going to get the recognition of everyone in Europe. This will be like the moments of Andrei Arshavin or Milan Baros in Euro 2008 and 2004 respectively. He will assist and score a goal against England in a draw and send Slovenia to the knockout stages of the European Championships. But I am delusional, not stupid. So they will get knocked out in the round of 16 to eventual winners Germany on penalties. I'm even saying on penalties. What the fuck am I smoking? First, England. Time to respond for that Wembley fiasco, lads. What the fuck was that? First, the inner fighting, then the beers being thrown at people, nosebleeds, drug dealing. Everything about that Wembley final was horrendous, but the ending was sensational. This would be a last attempt to Southgate to stay a little bit longer in the England setup until World Cup 2026, or to make a case for Bellingham to win the Ballon d'Or. P.S. Vinicius Jr. owns this year in every single direction, so shush, fuck you. They'll be good in the groups. They won't impress, but they will be alright, they'll be good, so 7 points. They'll head to the quarterfinals, and then the penalty nightmare is going to be back. They'll face Croatia, with my predictions as I'm doing this, and feeling the pressure of their favorite manager having to leave against Croatia, who I can't remember the last time they lost a penalty shootout. Don't worry, Kane, Saka, and Foden will be class throughout this tournament. They'll be flawless, near enough. On defeat on penalties to Croatia, I reckon Declan Rice and Trent will miss their shots and be blamed by the whole country and executed at Trafalgar Square next thing in the morning.
Group C, for last place, I would say Slovenia. I know they have decent players, like Jan Oblak on goal, but I still don't fancy their chances in this group. I still think that Denmark has some better players than Slovenia, which will let Slovenia stay in 4th and Denmark in 3rd. Second, Serbia. Decent squad, decent players, not much to say here. I do think they will go to the next stages easily in 2nd. First place, it's England. I don't want to say this because I really hope England do as bad as possible in this tournament, but they will go through in 1st place. There's nothing I can do.
Group D. Bottom of the group, Poland. Poland has been finished on international tournaments ever since Lewandowski started to come up. Euro 2012, they hosted. They still didn't qualify out of the easiest group they could have had. Didn't qualify in 2014 for the World Cup. Euro 2016 was arguably their best showing. They went to the quarterfinal. World Cup 2018, again with a shit group, and couldn't even qualify on that, finishing bottom. Can anyone remember what they did in Euro 2021? Because I fucking can't. I fucking can't. Which is fitting because this has been near enough the same squad that they had, except it's now 6 years older and rustier. This is going to be nothing special for Poland. They'll get smashed 4-0 by France and be heading home without a prayer. Third, Austria. Good midfield, shit goalkeepers, and a shy attack. Especially Anatovic. He's going to be fucking even more shy than me during middle school. They'll at least win against Poland, then they'll bend their ass to the French and be heartbroken to the Dutch. It'll just be 3 points, not enough to qualify on any books whatsoever. Second, Netherlands. Quality everywhere you look in this Netherlands team, and a much better manager than Frank the fucking Boer. Performances will be a lot more improved since the last tournament. They will try and go along the way, try and top France, but they will still finish a respectable 2nd. But then they'll get a surprise exit to a country that I'll still talk about in the round of 16, with a stupid mistake from either Dumfries or Van Dijk. Top of the group, France. Obviously, this is the best squad in the world on paper, with the most stable manager on paper in international football. There's youth, there's experience, with a star on the prime of his career signing for the biggest club on the planet that just won the Champions League. He'll be motivated to show in this tournament that he can still do it for France to deliver trophies. Better goalkeeper on my nan that can actually save a penalty. Flair and power, mate, France will demolish most teams they're going to face in this tournament, and they'll reach the final. I actually back that. They're actually going to reach the final in my books. But we'll just slightly come short to Germany. We'll slightly come off short to Germany that would want to show the display at home. So they're going to lose the final in Berlin, but they won't be embarrassed. It's a bit like what Germany was from 2006 up until 2014 when they actually won the World Cup. They didn't win any trophies, sure, but they keep arriving to semi-finals and finals, semi-finals and finals. And one day that duck's going to break again, and they're going to win an international trophy.
For Group D, last place, Poland. Of course it's Poland. Their team is very bad. We've seen them in the last World Cup. They can't do much. Having Lewandowski doesn't do shit for your nation, and you are gonna be dead last. as simple as. Third, Austria. Their nation has been playing well in the last friendlies, and their coach, Ralf Rangnick, is not that bad. I do fancy their chances of staying third, and they will go through to the next stage, to the round of 16, but they will fall in the round of 16. And second, the Netherlands. Great nation, great players. They have my captain, my great captain, oh captain, my captain, Virgil van Dijk, which will carry this team far to the quarterfinals at least. And yes, second place. Even though the team is great, they're not better than France, which is, unfortunately, it is the team that I think will win this tournament. I didn't want them to win since they already won a World Cup not so long ago, but there's no denying that they are the best nation in the world right now, and there's nobody in this competition that can defeat them apart from Germany. But I still think that France can edge them out.
Group E, bottom of the group, Slovakia. This would be the opposite of Slovenia and the obvious call. None of the players show quality. This is not the Slovakia of Hamsik. Martin Dubravka will concede a fucking howler in this group stage. And Milan Skriniar will be wishing to be dead for being ever born Slovakian. 1 goal scored, bottom of the group. Next. Third, Ukraine. Spirited and heartful playing style. Industrious at the back, and might even shock some people up front with flair. And Real Madrid goalkeeper Lunin, that has been about pretty much the whole entirety of the Champions League knockout stages with Real Madrid, will keep at least a clean sheet throughout this group stages. They'll be firing out of the group, but then will eventually get dumped by England in the round of 16. And by Russia when they get home. John, second Romania. You think I'm insane, right?
Just pretty retarded.
Remember this name again. Yanni Hadji. Another breakout star for this tournament. The 25-year-old midfielder about to go to Rangers will be the fucking star on such a paper-thin squad. This is not going to be the weakest squad in the Euros this summer. And to an average fan, no one knows a single name in the fucking team sheet. But the stars are going to align for Hadji to score 3 goals, firing Romania to the round of 16. And I'm going to say this. Knocking out Netherlands in a round of 16 as well. Am I insane? No, you're stupid. Top of the group, Belgium. Jeremy Doku will be fucking lively. Ever since just getting slightly dumped to the bench at Man City, he'll know getting a starting 11 position with Belgium, he's going to be flying throughout this group stages. Kunka steals out of Wolfsburg will be like an asexual, letting absolutely no shots coming in, before eventually getting found out in a round of 16 matchup with Serbia. De Bruyne would be like chasing shadows, but at least they'll be flawless in the group.
For Group E, that last, Romania. I'm not even gonna say anything. It speaks for itself. In third, I think it's Slovakia. Decent team, but I still don't think they're better than Ukraine, that have Mudryk, which it's questionable at times, but still a Chelsea player that has some prospect. They have Lunin, that had a great season at Real Madrid. So I do fancy their chances at being second. And first in the group, Belgium. Now, I do not fancy Belgium's chances in this championship, in this tournament, because we've seen in the last World Cup that they did get eliminated in the group stages, and in this tournament they did not bring Courtois with them, which I think will be a huge miss for them. If they were in a group of death like Group B with Spain, Croatia, Italy, and if one of the top 3 teams were Belgium, I would tip them to go out. But since their group is quite simple and Ukraine is not as good as them, they will top this group. Not easily, but they will top it.
Group F, bottom of the group, Czech Republic. A squad dependent on a fucking West Ham midfielder, able to pull off shocks. I mean, they did knock out the Dutch in the last tournament, but this year will just be different. Just like with Hungary, this won't be the same. Absolute nothing displays and will be sent packing after the second game with 2 defeats. No clean sheets, and I even predicted an own goal scored. Bottom of the group and out. Third, Turkey. The last Euros, Turkey were predicted by the media as the dark horses, and they ended up being the drunken My Little Pony. But this year, the pressure is a bit more off for the watching world, and I think Turkey gonna do alright. Arda of Real Madrid will maybe come off the bench, show his talent. Cenk Tosun will score despite of his obvious lack of talent, and fire Turkey out of the group before getting around a 16 exit. Second, Georgia. Let's see. I'm tipping Romania, Slovenia, and Georgia to qualify out of their groups as second. Maybe I am actually retarded. This car will be looking wonderful by the end of the tournament, just trust me. Krvica Kvaratskhelia will finally be putting his name back on the map after, you know, the worst title defense I've ever seen in Serie A. Valencia's keeper Mamardashvili I signed him on FIFA once, I remember. Will save more shots than lives were saved in Palestine. They'll beat the Czechs and Turkey and get to Euro round of 16 matchup where their fun will be evaporated by getting trashed by France about 5-1 or 5-0 in a game that will look like a training drill for Mbappe and his teammates. And topping the group, Portugal, obviously. Attacking man and manager with Roberto Martinez with a world-class team that actually knows how to defend the ball. Flair and talent in midfield, solidity at the back, youthful stars like João Neves out of Benfica, combined with world stars like Ruben Neves and João Cancelo at the peak of their careers. Portugal will just sweep this group with these 9 points. Easy. They'll win against Spain in the round of 16 on a startling of Bernardo Silva and actually thump Romania in the quarterfinals before sending a semi-final matchup with Germany where unfortunately they'll get beaten by a late goal scored in the 89th minute of a 1-0 defeat. But at least a much better European Championships compared to the last one, getting knocked out by Belgium and Eden Hazard's brother.
Now for the last group. Group F. Dead last. Georgia. I'm sorry, Kivara, my nuts. But, your nation is not decent enough to even get 2 points in this group, I'm afraid. But congratulations on the attempt. Third, Turkey. They are alright, you know, decent enough squad, but not good enough to go through to the next stage of the tournament. So they will be third, but not into the round of 16. In second, Czech Republic. They have a decent squad and they have all it takes to go second in this group. And at last, Portugal with 9 points, top of Group F. Nothing to talk about here. Decent nation, great players. Ronaldo that just had a season with almost as many goals as games, or maybe even the same if I'm not mistaken. Even though it's Saudi Arabia, it still shows that he's a great player still at 39 years old. And yes, top of the group, and that's it.